Alex had spent 6 years of his life at Falcon Enterprises, pouring his blood, sweat, and tears into the company. He wasn't just another employee. He was the backbone of his department. His boss, Mr. Reynolds, often praised him, and his colleagues looked up to him for guidance. Among them was Mark, a fresh recruit with big ambitions. Alex had taken Mark under his wing, teaching him everything about the industry. At first, it seemed like Mark was just eager to learn, but Alex had no idea that the man he was helping the most would be the one to stab him in the back. One morning, Alex walked into the office expecting another productive day, but instead, he was called into Mr. Reynolds' office. The expression on his boss's face was unreadable, but the words that followed shattered Alex's world. "We've decided to let you go, Alex," Reynolds said coldly. "Your recent performance has been underwhelming." Alex was stunned. Underperforming? He had just finished the company's most successful project. But before he could protest, Mark walked in, standing confidently beside their boss. "I understand, sir," Mark said, shaking Reynolds' hand. "I'll do my best to fill his shoes." That's when Alex saw it. The smirk on Mark's face. That snake had stolen his project, taken all the credit, and used it to get him fired. Alex left the office that day feeling like a ghost. He had given everything to that company, only to be tossed aside like garbage. Weeks passed, and the weight of unemployment crushed him. Bills piled up, job rejections flooded his inbox, and every attempt to move forward was met with a dead end. Meanwhile, Mark was thriving. He had taken Alex's position and was flaunting his success on social media. "Hard work pays off," Mark wrote in one post, posing next to a brand new car. That was the moment Alex realized he wasn't going to let this slide. Mark hadn't just taken his job. He had stolen his future. But he had no idea what Alex was about to take from him. Alex spent days digging. He reached out to old colleagues, gathered every piece of information he could on Mark. That's when he discovered the first crack. Mark had been inflating company numbers to impress the higher-ups. He had also been claiming credit for work done by other employees. Alex knew that exposing him wouldn't be enough. No, this had to be slow, calculated, and unstoppable. Alex anonymously sent an email to major industry insiders, subtly hinting that Mark was a fraud. At first, no one paid attention. But then Alex found an old client who had been furious after Mark overpromised and underdelivered. With a little push, that client started spreading the word. Soon, whispers turned into rumors, and rumors turned into concerns. Mark's reputation, once untouchable, was beginning to crack. And Alex, he was just getting started. Next, Alex created a fake job opportunity. Using a dummy email and professional-looking website, he posed as a top recruiter, offering Mark an irresistible position at a rival company. The salary was double, the benefits unmatched. Mark took the bait. Within days, he had resigned from Falcon Enterprises, believing he had secured a better future. He had no idea he was walking straight into a dead end. With Mark gone, Alex made his final move. He sent an anonymous tip to Falcon Enterprises, exposing every unethical thing Mark had done. Emails, recordings, falsified reports, everything. Within 24 hours, Mark's name was blacklisted in the industry. The job he had left for, it never existed. And now, no company would touch him. Mark, once at the top, was now jobless and unemployable. His social media went silent. His flashy lifestyle crumbled. One evening, Alex received a text from an unknown number. "Please, I know it was you. Just tell me why." Alex smiled, typed a response, and hit send. Hard work pays off, right? Part 2. Mark's downfall had begun, but he didn't realize it yet. After resigning from Falcon Enterprises for the fake job Alex had set up, he waited eagerly for his new position to begin. But days turned into weeks, and there was no contract, no onboarding, nothing. When he tried to call a recruiter, the number was disconnected. Confused and frustrated, Mark reached out to Falcon Enterprises, hoping to return to his old job. That's when he got a second shock. Word had spread about his shady dealings. The company had no interest in taking him back. His once steady career was slipping through his fingers. And Alex, he was just getting started. Now that Mark was unemployed, Alex made sure the financial pressure would hit him hard. Using a fake social media account, Alex reached out to a few of Mark's former colleagues, planting a rumor that Mark had come into some serious money. The word spread fast, and within a week, Mark's landlord raised his rent, assuming he could afford it. Credit card companies started increasing his limits, and banks offered him pre-approved loans. Mark, always one to flaunt success, took the bait. He borrowed money, upgraded his car, and kept up appearances, all while being secretly unemployed. The trap was set. All Alex had to do now was wait. Mark had always been surrounded by fake friends, people who only stuck around because of his success. So, Alex used that to his advantage. He reached out to Mark's social circle under the guise of an industry insider, casually mentioning that Mark had been blacklisted from multiple companies for unethical behavior. The whispers turned into full-blown conversations. Soon, Mark's friends started distancing themselves. No more party invitations, no more networking events. Mark didn't know why, but people were treating him like a pariah. His desperation grew, and Alex, he was enjoying every second of it. Mark, now in financial trouble and with his reputation ruined, scrambled to find a job, but every time he applied somewhere, he mysteriously got rejected. That's because Alex had already anticipated this move. He had set up an automated system that notified recruiters whenever Mark applied for a job. Each company received an anonymous email exposing Mark's past fraud at Falcon Enterprises. One by one, job offers vanished. Mark was stuck, sinking deeper into the hole Alex had dug for him. Now, it was time for Alex's masterpiece. He compiled every shady thing Mark had ever done. Fake reports, stolen projects, manipulative tactics, and sent to a popular industry blog. The article went viral. The headline? The man who lied his way to the top and crashed just as fast. Mark woke up to hundreds of messages, all asking the same thing. Is this true? His LinkedIn profile was flooded with angry comments. Former colleagues started coming forward, confirming every accusation. Falcon Enterprises officially distanced itself from him. No one wanted to be associated with fraud. Mark's career wasn't just ruined, it was obliterated. One evening, as Alex was enjoying a quiet night, his phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. Please, I know it was you. Just tell me why. Alex smiled. He had been waiting for this. He typed a response. Hard work pays off, right? Then he blocked the number. Part 3. After the industry article exposed his lies, Mark tried to salvage what was left of his reputation. He frantically commented under the post, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, but no one believed him. He went live on social media, desperately trying to explain himself, but instead of sympathy, he was met with brutal comments. You got what you deserved. Imagine stealing someone's job and crying when karma hits. No one hires a fraud. Dude, just disappear. The more he fought back, the worse it got. His name was trending for all the wrong reasons. And Alex, he sat back, watching the chaos unfold with satisfaction. Alex knew Mark would eventually try to run. Maybe start over in another city, another industry. So he made sure every door slammed shut. He found out Mark had applied for jobs in different states and even tried rebranding himself under a fake name. But before Mark could escape, Alex sent emails to recruiters, landlords, even networking groups, warning them about Mark scams. It was like every time Mark tried to get back on his feet, an invisible hand pushed him back down. Mark had been living large for years, expensive restaurants, flashy cars, luxury vacations. But now, with no income, his debts piled up fast. Credit card companies came knocking. His landlord threatened eviction. Loan sharks, whom Mark had borrowed from out of desperation, started demanding their money back, with interest. One night, Mark was dragged out of a nightclub by 2 men in black suits. They weren't here to talk. You're 2 months late, one of them growled. We don't like waiting. Mark stammered, swearing he'd pay soon. But where was he supposed to get money? He was completely trapped. Mark's apartment, his last piece of stability, was officially being taken away. Alex watched him across the street as movers threw Mark's furniture onto the sidewalk. His expensive suits, his designer shoes, all of it was now public property for anyone to take. Mark sat on the curb, looking completely broken. For the first time, Alex felt a flicker of sympathy. But then, he remembered the moment Mark stole his job, the smug smirk on his face, and the sympathy vanished. Mark was at his lowest, and Alex decided to have a little more fun. Using a burner phone, he texted Mark pretending to be a recruiter from a secret high-paying opportunity that only discreet professionals could apply for. Mark, desperate and foolish, jumped at the chance. He followed the instructions to meet at a fancy restaurant, dressed in his last expensive suit, thinking this was his comeback moment. But when he arrived, there was no recruiter, no interview, no job. Just an empty table. And across the room, Alex, sipping his coffee, watching Mark realize he had been played. Again, that night, Mark finally snapped. He tracked Alex down, banging on his door, screaming, demanding answers. Alex opened the door slowly, arms crossed, calm. Problem, Mark? You did this. Mark shouted, his face red with rage and humiliation. You ruined my life. Alex stepped closer, looking him dead in the eye. You stole my job. You took everything from me. His voice was quiet, but each word hit like a hammer. Did you really think I wouldn't take something back? Mark's shoulders slumped. He had no defense. For the first time in his life, Mark realized he was powerless. After that night, Mark disappeared. Rumors spread that he left town, broke and hopeless. Some said he tried starting over as a dishwasher in a faraway state. Others claimed he never recovered from the humiliation. Alex never bothered to check. Mark was out of the game, and that was all that mattered. 1 year later, Alex sat in his new office, a bigger, better company than Falcon Enterprises. His phone buzzed. An email from his boss. Amazing work, Alex. You're getting a promotion. He smirked. Justice wasn't just served. It was cooked to perfection. Alex thought Mark was gone forever. He had moved on, built a better career, and won the war. Until one day, he received a cryptic email from an unknown sender. You think this is over? I'm coming back. Alex's eyes widened. Mark. He had been quiet for a year. Now he was back. But why? And what was he planning? Mark had spent months plotting his return. He had scraped together what little money he had left, trying to rebuild his career in another city. But every attempt ended in failure. His name was still tainted. Companies wouldn't touch him. Recruiters ignored him. The industry had blacklisted him forever. But Mark wasn't giving up. He had one last plan, and it involved taking Alex down permanently. Desperate for revenge, Mark turned to someone dangerous, a hacker for hire, for a large sum of money. The hacker promised to wipe Alex's career off the map, just like Alex had done to him. By the time I'm done, the hacker smirked. Your little friend won't even exist in the corporate world. Mark handed over the last of his savings. Do it. Within days, Alex's world started crumbling. His company email was hacked. False rumors spread online, claiming he was involved in fraud. His LinkedIn account was mysteriously deleted. Clients began backing away, unsure what was real and what was fake. Alex knew this wasn't a coincidence. It was Mark. And this time, the game had changed. Alex wasn't about to let Mark win. Not again. He hired his own cybersecurity expert to track down the hacker. Within days, they found something interesting. The hacker wasn't as careful as he thought. Alex's team traced him back to a cheap apartment in Florida. And who was there, staying under the radar? Mark. Cybercrime was a serious offense. So Alex made a single phone call to a contact at the FBI. Within 48 hours, the hacker was arrested, his computer seized, and the evidence led directly to Mark. Mark barely had time to react before agents swarmed his apartment, slapping him in handcuffs. You want to come back? Alex smirked, watching the news. Enjoy it behind bars. The charges were severe: cyber fraud, identity theft, and corporate sabotage. If convicted, Mark could face years in prison. In court, he tried to plead ignorance, claiming he didn't know the hacker would go that far. But the evidence? Overwhelming. Alex sat in the courtroom, watching as the judge shut down every excuse Mark had. The verdict? Guilty. Mark was sentenced to 4 years in prison. No more luxury. No more manipulation. Just a cold, steel cell. And for the first time, Mark realized he had truly lost. With Mark gone, Alex was untouchable. He had his dream job, his dream life, and total peace of mind. One day, while walking past his office building, he looked at his reflection and smirked. Game over. Part 5. Mark had hit rock bottom, but he wasn't done yet. In prison, he met a man named Victor Kane, a former high-profile corporate fixer who was locked up for embezzling millions. You want revenge? Victor smirked. I can help you, but I need something in return. Mark leaned in. Name it. Victor's request was simple. Get him out of prison. If Mark could pull it off, Victor promised to destroy Alex's life in a way no one else could. Mark started gathering favors inside the prison. Using his old manipulative ways, he bribed guards, blackmailed inmates, and played the system. 3 months later, the breakout plan was in motion, and on a stormy night, it happened. Victor vanished from the prison. Mark had done his part. Now, it was time for Victor to deliver. Victor wasn't just a hacker. He was a master of psychological warfare. He didn't attack Alex directly. Instead, he turned his world upside down from the shadows. A fake police report accused Alex of fraud. A mysterious lawsuit was filed against his company. Clients started pulling out, scared of the rumors. His bank accounts froze due to a pending investigation. Alex had no idea who was behind it, but he knew someone was pulling the strings. Then, things got worse. Alex started receiving disturbing messages. You took everything from me. Now, I'll take it all from you. I know where you live. You'll never see me coming. His car was vandalized. His house was broken into. Whoever was doing this wasn't just ruining his career. They wanted to break him completely. One night, Alex got a call. A voice he hadn't heard in years. Mark, miss me? Alex's blood ran cold. You thought I was finished? Oh, Alex, you don't know me at all. Mark was back. And this time, he wasn't playing fair. Alex fought back hard, hiring lawyers, investigators, even security. But every move he made was countered. The police dismissed his reports. His security system was hacked. His name trended online for all the wrong reasons. The nightmare was real, and Mark was pulling the strings from shadows. Then came the final blow. The FBI raided Alex's home. His computers, his files, all seized. Why? Because someone, Mark, had planted fabricated evidence that Alex was guilty of financial fraud, and insider trading. Alex was arrested. The world turned against him, just like it had against Mark. Inside his cell, Alex sat, trying to process what happened. That's when the visitor arrived. Mark, dressed in an expensive suit, looking stronger than ever. Funny how things turn around, huh? Mark smirked, sitting across from Alex. "You did this," Alex growled. Mark leaned in. "No, Alex. You did this. To yourself. You thought you could play God. Now look at you." Alex clenched his fists. But he knew Mark had won. Mark walked out of prison, a free man, while Alex was left rotting behind bars. Victor Kane, the real mastermind, had made sure Alex's charges were airtight. And now, Mark had a new identity, new wealth, and a new empire. The man who once lost everything now owned the game. Part 6. Alex sat in his prison cell, staring at the cold walls, feeling the weight of his downfall. Then, a voice whispered from the cell next to him. "You're not the first man Mark has burned." Alex turned. It was a familiar face, Victor Kane. But why was he here? Victor wasn't just a mastermind hacker. He was also a double-crosser. After helping Mark destroy Alex, Mark had betrayed Victor, framing him for an old crime to tie up loose ends. Now, both of them were in the same prison. Victor smirked. "You want payback?" Alex nodded. "More than anything." Victor leaned in. "Then let's burn him together." Victor had connections, powerful ones. Using an old ally on the outside, he managed to clear Alex's name, exposing the fabricated evidence. Within 3 months, Alex's conviction was overturned. He was a free man, but Mark didn't see it coming. And Alex wasn't about to let him escape. Mark had vanished. He had changed his name, bought a mansion in Dubai, and was living like a king. But Alex had one advantage, Victor Kane. Victor's elite hacking skills tracked down Mark's hidden accounts, his new alias, his exact location. Mark thought he was untouchable. He was dead wrong. One by one, Mark's assets disappeared. His bank accounts? Frozen. His offshore investments? Seized. His secret properties? Gone. Mark woke up one morning to see his empire crumbling before his eyes. Then he received an anonymous message. "Miss me?" Mark's hand shook. Alex was back. Alex flew to Dubai. He didn't need legal revenge. He wanted to look Mark in the eye before finishing him. One night, as Mark sat in his lavish penthouse, sipping expensive whiskey, he heard the door click open. He turned, and there stood Alex. "How?" Mark whispered, his voice cracking. Alex smirked. "You made one mistake, Mark. You underestimated me." Mark lunged at Alex, but Alex was faster. He slammed Mark against a glass window, holding him by the collar. "You took everything from me," Alex said. "Now I'm taking it all back." Mark wasn't afraid of dying, but what Alex did next, it was worse than death. Instead of killing Mark, Alex did something much crueler. He pulled out a USB drive. On it, every crime Mark had committed: blackmail, cyber fraud, identity theft, and corporate sabotage. Alex uploaded it all to the Interpol database. Within hours, Mark became a most wanted fugitive worldwide. No money, no power, no escape. Mark tried to run, but there was nowhere left to go. He was arrested at the airport, trying to flee the country. And this time, he wasn't going to a luxury prison. He was going to rot in a maximum security hellhole for life. Alex stood outside, watching the news. Mark's face was all over the screen, being dragged away in handcuffs, screaming about how he was set up. No one believed him. Alex smiled, walking away into the city lights. He had won. And this time, it was permanent.